This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Do you play FanDuel and feel like you aren't creating consistent money-making lineups? Go over to the DFS Doctors on Twitter at the DFS Doctors and DM them with promo code Detroit Sports to get a free trial for their analytically formulated 70% lifetime profit rate NFL and NBA lineups. The whole purpose of playing daily fantasy sports is to get out there and compete and give yourself a chance to win. So go over to the DFS Doctors. Let them help you. They have analysts on staff that look at the best optimal lineup that you can put out there to win money. So why not take advantage? At the DFS Doctors, promo code Detroit Sports.
CBD is a game changer sweeping the nation. This hemp extract is the natural way to elevate your mood, eliminate aches and pains, reduce anxiety, and keep you sleeping all night long. It can even cut your workout recovery time in half. Get in the game today with 20% off all orders of CBD and lavender products from Lavender Lane, a lavender farm located right here in Milan, Michigan. Just go to lavenderlanemi.com today and enter coupon code Detroit for 20% off your entire order. Guys, look, these amazing products are infused with calming lavender to maximize their effectiveness, meaning your CBD items only take minutes to take effect, which is way quicker than those pills you were about to swallow. On top of it, they are perfect for men and women. Lavender Lane has lab-tested CBD creams, tinctures, and roll-ons that are perfect for any situation, even if you're on the go. Put your health back in your hands by heading over to lavenderlanemi.com and entering coupon code Detroit for 20% off your entire order of CBD and lavender products. What do you have to lose? Your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. So if you need lavender gifts for your loved ones or just looking for the natural way to ease your discomfort with CBD, go to lavenderlanemi.com and use coupon code Detroit to unlock these miraculous benefits of CBD and lavender. That's lavenderlanemi.com. And remember, use coupon code DETROIT for 20% off your CBD and lavender products from Michigan's own Lavender Lane.
Welcome into the Monday Mashup on Detroit Sports Podcast. Shea and Kevin McCann here, and we are recording this in the midst of
chaos.
The second most surprising outcome of the weekend. This feels more surprising
just
than
because
last night.
the score.
So
the fact that Tennessee won is more surprising, but the fact that Houston's up 21-0 in the first quarter, that's more surprising.
Full disclosure, I wasn't too shocked by the Tennessee victory because I paid a little more attention than your average bear and went back and found teams that rest their starters in Week 17, which, to be fair, the Ravens were a little pigeonholed into by virtue of Mark Andrews and Mark Ingram both getting hurt.
Sure.
But resting Lamar and resting some of their defensive starters, resting as many players as they did, when you are full no-go Week 17, going into yesterday, those teams were 8-12 since 2005 in divisional round games.
2 weeks off is just too many.
Teams that didn't do that were 25-8.
You know how many times during the season you have 2 weeks off in a row? Never.
Yeah, never.
You don't ever.
It doesn't happen.
It's not a thing. So, yeah, don't do it.
It doesn't seem like the right idea. And it was funny because the Niners game, it was very clear that the bye week helped. But you got to remember that Niners team played a championship game in Week 17.
Right. On the road.
Yeah. That's a different team coming back off of a bye week than one that took 2 weeks off and wasn't exactly on top of their best football at the end of the year. I mean, they struggled to beat the Browns
and this
in
is
Week
a Niners
16.
team who asked their quarterback to do very little as opposed to a Ravens team who asked their quarterback to do it all.
Everything.
Yeah.
But the Ravens in Week 16 struggled against Cleveland. That should have been like maybe a smoke signal that we can't really take a breather in Week 17. We need to go full go and make sure that we know what's up. They didn't do that, and the Titans punched them in the mouth, and the Ravens never really had a chance. They were never in that game. Not for a minute.
No.
This is stunning to me because I didn't really think the Texans had a prayer at Arrowhead.
Yeah, I'm not a Bill O'Brien believer. And granted, right now they have 2 touchdowns as products of a first and goal from the 3 off a muff punt and a block punt return touchdown. So it's not like Bill O'Brien's doing a whole lot, but they are up 21-0. Give him credit.
I mean, they also have the ball. We don't know what's going to happen. There's a chance that the Chiefs come back and win this game. I highly doubt it.
It doesn't seem likely.
They are not doing anything right. Dropped passes, muffed punts. So I just really doubt it. And the reason we decided to record now is, funny enough, we thought today's games were predictable.
Yeah, exactly.
Green Bay and Seattle. Seattle's a fun story, but I don't really see them waltzing into Green Bay and getting another win when they could.
No, after this, it's just a theme for the weekend. These things happen in groups of 3.
Seattle's a little different because I think they are actively bad. Like, I don't know that I thought the Texans were bad.
I think they're going to... they're pretty bad. I mean, they have Russell Wilson, so, like, in a sense...
But they have nothing else.
I don't think the Packers' offense is good.
They have Aaron Jones. I don't trust Aaron Rodgers much.
No,
but
I don't trust.
I don't like
a lot
the
of things about
receivers.
their offense. Like I think if Seattle keeps that game close and it comes down to Rodgers versus Wilson at the end, I might like Wilson.
The Packers have the better defense, and they're at home.
True.
So those two things factor in massively for me. But going back to yesterday, I think after the Patriots lost to the Titans, too much of the story was the Patriots and what will Tom Brady do, and is the dynasty dead? Not enough of it was, well, Mike Vrabel really that dude, huh?
Oh, I mean, that you can't. When a dynasty falls like that, that's always going to be the talk, right? Like half the people in the middle of July didn't know that the Raptors won the title; they just knew the Warriors lost. Like it's just one of those things.
The funny thing is, does this loss where the Ravens just got pummeled and the Patriots were within a point, really, aside from a pick six that was a prayer of a play anyways, we're within a point of beating that team. Does it make it feel like maybe they aren't quite as dead as everybody thought since the Titans now went and kicked the Ravens in the mouth?
I don't know that I thought they were dead.
I didn't think they were dead either.
Yeah, I just think they needed some more weapons. And, the best receiver got arrested for jumping on a car last night. So they definitely need some more weapons.
He can have a little alcohol and jump on a Mercedes.
I didn't know you could get arrested for jumping on a car.
Vandalism, apparently.
I guess if it's a Mercedes, but you're Julian Edelman, just look at the dude whose Mercedes is and be like, I'll pay for that.
Which is probably what's going to happen. He's not going to get charged with anything.
Somebody got arrested for jumping on a car. Okay, whatever, because I've never jumped on a car before in my life, right? But, yeah, they needed more weapons. That was the whole point of the situation. I never thought they were dead. They had a great defense. Tom Brady is at least serviceable at 42 years old if you put things around him. Look at Drew Brees. Drew Brees can't throw it down the field. Brady can at least throw it down the field.
Yeah, Drew Brees got a noodle. Brady's still got arm strength.
Sure.
The other thing about Edelman that came out today, not to sidetrack too far on the Patriots, but you just made me think of it. Adam Schefter reported that since week 3, he played with a torn rib cartilage.
Right, there was something with the ribs. Yeah, I mean, he's a guy's a warrior. He's always been like that.
But going back to the Titans and what we saw yesterday, and I mean, I don't want to put it all on Ryan Tannehill because he didn't do anything. They won 2 games and he didn't throw for 100 yards in either of them.
I mean, If you had the Ryan Tannehill over under 2 total touchdowns prop bet yesterday, you did well. I mean, who would have thought 3 total touchdowns, 90 yards? Good for him. I mean, he did what they needed him to do. You can win in this league if you've got Derrick Henry. You can win with a quarterback who doesn't have to do all that much, and he did what they needed him to do. And he's probably going to get a 3-year, $80 million guaranteed contract this summer. So good for Ryan Tannehill. Secure the bag.
How good is Mike Vrabel?
He's a player's coach. I mean, you can tell. He's just that kind of guy. I don't know too much about him other than what you see on a Hard Knocks when he was in Houston or what you see with All Access at Ohio State. Other than his playing days, I don't know too much outside of that, but it seems like everybody on that team loves him.
I look at that guy, and it's easy to localize, and it's easy to kind of get caught daydreaming because the Lions could have hired him.
Yeah.
Matt Patricia very easily could be Mike Vrabel right now.
Yeah.
And you look at juxtapose the 2 coaches and where they are.
He fit in Detroit too, personality-wise.
Right,
the way that Patricia just doesn't.
We're talking, both are second-year head coaches. One of them has won a total of, 9 games?
Total, yeah.
9, 22-1 total.
Something like that, yeah.
Vrabel, on the other hand, is now in the AFC Championship game with Ryan Tannehill.
Won 9 games this year.
Vrabel lost his franchise quarterback, much like Matt Patricia, in the second season. Vrabel's in the conference championship game.
Vrabel lost his franchise quarterback by choice.
Yeah, by hook or by crook.
Right,
he didn't have his franchise quarterback.
Right.
And he found a way to make Ryan Tannehill, who was
played
awful as a Dolphin.
outstandingly when he took over at 7-3, whatever it was as a starter. I mean, he was great.
But he's figuring out ways to not that he's an offensive mind, but he's figuring out ways to maximize what they have. Like Derrick Henry is clearly their best player.
Clearly.
So we're going to maximize what he can do in the offense.
A great line and a great running back. Let's do that.
They're running exotic defensive plays. I mean, some of the stuff that they were running last night where they'd put 4 linebackers at the sticks and just have 3 up front, like a weird looking 4-3. Where, look, you're looking at Lamar and you're going, I dare you to throw the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he threw it 59 times.
Yeah,
like they were like, go ahead, you're not gonna beat us throwing it. And I think he still ran for like $150 or something like that. But like they're like, you're not gonna beat us throwing the football. It's not gonna happen.
And it was very early. They showed that they were like, we're not going to let you use your legs early in this game and bury us.
And he only got to $150 because he broke open a couple of them.
Yeah. They struck first, the Titans. Then they struck again, which they needed to do. Going up 14-0, putting Lamar in scenarios
Give yourself
where
that cushion is huge.
Right, because then you had Lamar in scenarios where it's known passing downs and like the interception where you were literally daring him. Look, we're going to run man coverage.
Yeah.
I dare you to throw this football.
Even then, when you have the difference between a 1 touchdown lead and when you've solidified it and you've given yourself that cushion, it's 2nd and 9 and you want to bring the house and play man coverage. You can't do it with a 7-point lead because he can take off on you. But you got 14, send him. Yeah. And send them from different angles. Like, do what you want. Like, you can do so much more on defense with that cushion.
It was incredible the way that they just, especially going into that building, and that's a building that I've been to a night game at.
Sure.
And it's it's the most intimidating NFL atmosphere I've ever walked into. And the fact that the Titans and Mike Vrabel were able to go in there and just dominate for 60 minutes. Very impressive.
It's very impressive.
Very impressive. Yeah. On the Ravens side of things, boy, did the Lamar Jackson takes get bad on Twitter last night.
As predicted.
Holy mercy. I'm just going to say this off top, and then I won't go back to it because I don't want to lend credence to it, but I know it's there. 90% of the people that are bombing Lamar after a bad performance were giddy, waiting at their keyboards for him to finally fail, and it comes from racism. That's it. That's all I'll say.
And let's be very clear about what a failure is. A 14-2 season leading the NFL in touchdown passes in his second year. The guy's 21, I believe, 21 or 22 years old. He led the league in touchdown passes. The first 1,000-yard rusher as a quarterback since Michael Vick, while leading the league in touchdown passes. Michael Vick did not run for 1,000 yards and lead the league in touchdown passes. Lamar Jackson did, broke a rushing record for an NFL quarterback. I think yesterday was his first lost fumble of the year or something like that. Ridiculous, something like that. And had, by all accounts, far and away, there's not even a close second, an MVP season.
Yeah, he's the league MVP.
So let's wonder really if Bill Polian still thinks he should be a wide receiver and was sipping a double last night. Because there's no fucking chance.
You know, Bill Polian was somewhere on a plush couch jacking himself off, shirtless, just. Oh, Lamar! I was right about Lamar. I was absolutely right about Lamar.
I hate you for making me think about Bill Polian shirtless.
This is what Colin Cowherd said. All of these guys are drinking champagne and cheersing one another. No, they're not. Like Ryan Pace last night doesn't watch that game and go, "Thank God I traded up for Mitch Trubisky." Like, that's not how that works.
He traded up for Mitch Trubisky.
I was right. No, you weren't. That's the league MVP.
No, you're not. You don't want Mitch Trubisky at all. Like, nobody wants that guy. But, I mean, even then, like, the dude last night threw for 300 yards, ran for $143. No wide receiver is doing that in an NFL playoff game.
Exactly.
Like, oh, he had a terrible game. Look at the numbers. He didn't have a terrible game. He just didn't have a great game.
The whole team didn't have a great game.
He took 2 weeks off, and he's 22.
Right. Listen, when you start looking for someone to pin that blame on for the Ravens last night, you want to talk injuries because they got struck with the bug like I had never seen, with Ingram already having a calf injury, Andrews being hurt, and then the first drive of the third quarter, Andrews gets hurt again, Boyle gets hurt, and Hollywood Brown gets hurt.
And it's easy to do what I'm about to do, because he has so many of these things. But I'm watching this interview Tony Dungy's doing with Kirk Cousins before the game yesterday, and we don't even need to talk about that game. But the interview Tony Dungy was doing with Kirk Cousins where they talked about getting the monkey off his back and winning a big game. And Tony Dungy relayed that I was with Peyton Manning and I heard all those things because he didn't win his first playoff game till year 5. Who's mad that Lamar Jackson hasn't won a playoff game yet?
Right.
This is year 2. He just won the MVP in year 2. Like, okay, we got a long way to go.
He's got 2 years left of a rookie contract.
Would it be different if he did Cam Newton? If he made it all the way to the Super Bowl and laid an egg? Like, who cares? He laid an egg. It happens. It's year 2. He's an MVP. I guarantee you he'll be back again next year ripping it up. Like,
and that's the thing with like the Tom Brady discourse where people are like, Joe Montana's better because he's undefeated in the Super Bowl. What's Brady supposed to lose early?
That's the LeBron thing too.
I know it's the dumbest argument that you could ever make when it's like, oh, it's so much worse. Cam Newton getting to the Super Bowl and losing is much worse than if he lost in the AFC divisional. It's not.
No. But and this is my dumb basketball brain just equating it to being like Jordan never lost in the finals. LeBron lost. Jordan didn't make 8 straight. Oh, yeah, but he took the year off. Yeah, he lost to Shaq and Penny. Okay, he did lose in the playoffs over that time.
3 first-round exits.
This is not like every year he was playing, he made it to the finals and won. No. He lost. It happens. Great players lose.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
It's just like, and I was fine with slander. I posted a tweet of the guy crying while firing a gun.
Sure.
And I said, you can't spell Lamar without L. But
that's fun though.
Slander is different than how right was everyone that didn't use a pick on Lamar.
You did the proper use of Twitter.
Right,
like, that's what joke. You did. It's a funny joke at someone else's expense because that's what Twitter is. Like, here I am getting roasted. Like, that's what it is. That's what Twitter is.
If you want to go, Lamar Jackson is just Terrell Pryor saying trust. That's fine. It's a good joke.
Because everyone knows you're joking. But when you say, oh, he's sipping a double because Lamar sucks. No, you're not joking, Cowherd. You're dead serious. You poured yourself another one. You were like, see, I was right.
And the other
really? Because he's 14-2.
The Colin Cowherd aspect of this, too, is, and I don't want to spend too much time on it because I don't want to lend credence to it, but if you just search Colin Cowherd racism and scroll through the Google feed, there will be some hits.
It was Dominican baseball players, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
He said they come from a country that's stupid. That was
similar rhetoric to somebody else I know talked about bad country education system.
It's just I know, like, it may even be subconscious, but I know where the heart of the argument lies when it comes to Lamar Jackson,
people
and I just want to immediately refute it.
Subconscious because he got fired.
Well, that's true. But that I want to make sure that I led this podcast in talking about Lamar Jackson with saying he's good. He's a very good. He
very
might
good
be
quarterback, not just football player.
He might be great.
Very good quarterback.
He might be great.
Yes.
We do have to spend a minute on San Francisco, and because
just the 1 minute.
Does Kirk Cousins really have the monkey off his back?
Yeah, I mean, no one. You could tell. Would they rush for 22 yards with Dalvin Cook? Like, they were outgunned. That's not his fault. Like, going into New Orleans and winning that game is enough for him to get the monkey off his back. The monkey of he can win a big game, not the monkey of he's an elite quarterback.
Okay,
like that's not off his. No, who's thinking that though? Like, is someone out there making the argument he's elite? I'm just saying this is a guy who can win you a playoff game. Whereas before, people thought this is a guy who can't win a big game to save his life. No, he can win a big game.
Right.
Like, he can't go beat a team that's way freaking better than his team. That's not going to happen. But he can win a big game. That monkey's off his back. Really cool moment in that game was Bill Cowher getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Before that was awesome.
Cool. That was the second time this week somebody got inducted live on their show.
I didn't see the first one.
So Bill Cowher got inducted to the the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Right?
Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Dan Patrick got inducted to the National Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
I didn't know that.
Live on his radio show, he got inducted.
I did not know that.
And he was great. He didn't cry like Bill Cowher. He didn't get all emotional. Chiefs have a little life.
I gotta find that clip. I didn't know that. I want to.
He didn't get all emotional. He kind of goes, "So why is this an honor?" And then he was like, "Who was inducted before me last year? That's going to make me mad."
It's fair. I love Dan Patrick for who he is.
It was good, Dan Patrick.
The Cowher thing, though, he cried a little bit. Like in a moment like that, if you're caught off guard, and I've seen the clips.
No, it was cool. It was a good moment.
It's that guy who he shows up at the door to tell you you're in. I forget his name, but it's that guy in the jacket. Like I remember the one of Randy Moss in the hotel room when he showed. So when you see that guy, you can see Cowher's face go like white when he turns and sees that guy, and then James Brown starts talking about him. James Brown, interesting guy, but they had Cowher and his wife and his daughter, not the one who's married to Ryan Kelly, the lanky god, but his other daughter, and it was a really nice moment. even if I don't think Bill Cowher is a Hall of Fame coach, it was a really nice moment. I would have loved to have seen Ryan Kelly and his other daughter there, but it is what it is. Haven't seen Ryan Kelly in a while. I wonder where he is. Never forget that night when he was at Duke and he gave Miami 40 at Cameron and after like coming back from a broken foot. Legend. Laker legend, Ryan Kelly also.
So that's mostly the NFL stuff for the weekend. It's just a lot of people are going to say really bad things about Lamar and you shouldn't listen to them.
No.
That's my entire point. Yeah. Because they're all nonsense. Yeah. Also, Nick Wright is a fucking clown. Nick Wright tweeted many times.
Great hair though.
No, great hair plugs. But this guy tweeted many times last night when the Titans went up 14-0. He said, "I want to be the first to congratulate the Chiefs for making their first Super Bowl in 50 years." Oh. Tough look, buddy. They're down 24-6 in the second quarter.
Did they miss the 2?
Or 24-7, whatever they are.
No, I think didn't they go for 2? Were they going? I would have gone for 2. I don't know. I didn't check.
Anyway, I missed. I just assumed it was a field goal, so I stopped really looking at the TV. But before we get into the NBA and just basketball in general, let me tell you quickly about the DFS Doctors. If you head over to @the DFS Doctors, if you're a FanDuel player, if you're a DraftKings player, if you're a daily fantasy person, and you feel like you aren't creating consistent money-making lineups, which is the story of my life, go over to the DFS Doctors, @the DFS Doctors on Twitter, DM them promo code Detroit Sports, and you will get a free trial for their analytically formulated 70% lifetime profit rate NFL and NBA lineups.
70% is very good.
70% is fantastic. Professional gamblers hit 56% of their bets. And the only way they make money on that is if they're consistent and disciplined enough to only bet one unit per.
And I have been arguing that 70% is very good since like the 4th grade with my parents. So I will tell you that 70% is very good.
70% gets you a degree, man. That's I mean, it might be the bare minimum, but it gets you there. So to get a free trial, again, all you have to do, DM @the DFS Doctors on Twitter, the promo code Detroit Sports, and you will get a free trial for their analytically formulated lineups. I know the NFL is ending, but the NBA is even more daily than the NFL. Every day of the week, awesome. You can get in.
It's more fun to do it in the for me, obviously, but like I think if you get into it, it's more fun.
I vastly prefer NBA daily fantasy
it's way more
to
fun.
NFL. It's such an enjoy. Yeah. I feel like I do better in the NBA as well.
Well, yeah, I do, but like, it's just I know I like it more because I'm a basketball guy, but like still, it's more fun. There's like 5 games on where you can pick different guys. You can pick it's more fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah. NBA game on right now, Heat and Knicks. Yeah. We were waiting to see how drunk Jimmy Butler got last night. So far, the Heat are taking care of business.
This is like a halfway G League game, though, also.
So let's use this to start the NBA discussion at a spot where you talked to me about pre-show, that they occupy the same market. One team is a playoff team, and one team isn't. And the one that is a playoff team ranks 21st in the NBA in attendance. The one that is not a playoff team, has 10 wins, ranks 11th in the NBA in attendance. Turns out New York just isn't a Nets town. They just don't give a shit.
Who could have thunk it? Who could have possibly foreseen that to be the case?
This is an easy way to start because it stems from Kevin Durant being online.
And but it goes back to the summer where he did the knuckleheads with Q Rich and D Miles, and he said, "Oh, well, the Knicks just aren't it. They're not cool." It's like, no, bro, the Nets aren't cool.
The Nets are trying really hard to be cool with the Bed-Stuy jerseys and the New York Times font, and it's not
working. First of all, you're not in Bed-Stuy. That's not where the neighborhood is. That's not where you play.
Biggie also might not have been a Nets fan.
No. They were in New Jersey.
There are so many problems.
I guarantee you Biggie was a Knicks fan.
There are so many problems with what the Nets are trying to do with their dumbass court and the dumb jerseys.
They ruined the court. They had a great court. And I don't want to go off on this tangent because I've done it before. But erasing the Brooklyn in subway tiles on the baseline is the biggest, most egregious mistake in all of court design history. It was perfect. It was unique to the city. It was beautiful because they were black and white in their logo anyways. It was perfect. Taking it off the court, someone should be fired for that.
They said they made the court gray to honor the cobblestone streets in the Brooklyn neighborhoods. And a buddy of mine who lives in Brooklyn goes, streets don't look anything like that.
I'm sorry, is cobblestone gray? Yeah. I don't know because I thought cobblestone was like different colors.
They The general consensus is that what Brooklyn did this year was they realized they were going to be higher profile, so they gentrified their style.
I actually am concerned because I don't think cobblestones are great. The only cobblestone
It might not have
streets
even
I've
been cobblestone, but it was something like we're going to honor.
No, but there are cobblestone streets in Brooklyn, like over in Dumbo and like around there. Yeah, for sure. But I'm almost certain they are not great.
Right. That's why people were like, dude, the streets look nothing like that. I'm still just stunned by this Kansas City score. I digress.
Yeah. I like the thing. Okay, so the Knicks and the Nets thing.
Why is it, tell the people why KD being online is important.
So, first of all, he's Kevin Durant. Like, you understand that when this guy was healthy last year, he was the best basketball player on the planet. He was better than LeBron down the stretch before he got hurt in the Houston series.
Certainly better than Kawhi,
without question. Like, he was the best basketball player in the world. So you should not be responding to 14-year-olds on Twitter if you're the best basketball player in the world. That's first and foremost.
Fair point.
But everybody knows he's Kevin Durant. At least now he's doing it from his actual account.
Oh, my God.
Are you going to pick?
No, for some reason the Texans thought it was a good idea to fake a punt from their own 30 while they're up 20.
What I say about Bill O'Brien?
17 points.
Well,
here, just let's breathe life into the opponent. What a dumb move.
That's Bill O'Brien.
You idiot, Bill O'Brien. All right, I don't mean to derail you. No. This fucking moron. All right, so last weekend against...
Snap to the up back. You can't... Have a better fake punt than a snap to the up back.
Last weekend against the Bills, I saw inexplicable coaching decisions from both O'Brien and McDermott. O'Brien, you are put in the easiest position in the world. You're up 24-0. You have the ball on the opposing 30, up 24-7. It's a 17-point game. Just punt.
This has got to be a shot play, right? Like you got to try to go for the kill. There it is,
and that's it.
I didn't.
It was a bad throw, but
yeah.
No, you're up 17 points. Just punt.
Yeah, don't give.
What are you doing? Direct snap to the up back for a fake run out. Like you just breathe life into an opponent that you had dead.
You're up 24-0. They're dead in the water, and if they score here in the next 2 minutes, you got 6.5 minutes to go in the half, and they're only down 10. That's okay. Thanks, Bill O'Brien. Let's get back to other stupid people. Kevin Durant. So, when you're tweeting at 14-year-olds when you're the best basketball player in the world, there's an expectation that you're already a little bit different. The idea of tweeting back at people in the media when you're a player is never a good idea. No matter if it's good, no matter if it's bad, the media coverage is for fans. It's not for you. You are not supposed to respond to people who say things like, Nets lose 7 in a row, no one cares. Nets win 7 in a row, no one cares. Hashtag silence speaks volumes. Don't respond to that tweet if you're Kevin Durant. Because first of all, he's right. He's absolutely right. Brian, I forget your last name. It works for CBS that tweeted that. I'm sorry I don't remember your last name. But you're absolutely right. The Nets could win 10 in a row and no one will give a shit. And when they lose 10 in a row, still no one will give a shit because Kyrie Irving wasn't playing and Kevin Durant isn't playing. And yes, maybe next year, what Kevin Durant said, yes, people will care. Maybe he's right. I don't think he's right. I don't think they will care. I think if the Nets want any type of coverage whatsoever in that city, they're going to have to be like far and away one of the best two teams in the Eastern Conference. Like they're going to have to be contending for the 1 seed to get anybody to pay attention to what they're doing. The Knicks lose 7 in a row. Hell, the Knicks lose 3 in a row, and there's an article on the back page of the Post. Like, no matter what they do, they can be shit and have 7 wins, and you're going to hear articles about the Knicks because that's what it is. That's what they are. They're always the most covered team in that city. So Kevin Durant looking around the Barclays Center when they're losing 7 in a row, sitting there on the bench next to Kyrie Irving, I think there's got to be a part of him that wonders, shit, I signed with the Nets? We really did this with the Nets and not the Knicks? Like, I'm here? There's nobody in this building. Like, yeah, so that's why I think he's tweeting a little bit. Because I think there's part of him that's like, oh, damn, this is the Nets. He's right. No one cares. Like, I'm not even getting stopped in the streets. Like, this is life for you now, KD. You play for an organization that no matter what you do, people are going to call you little brother. You signed up for that. That's what it is. So even if you win a title, which, good friggin' luck, this is just going to be what it is because you play for the Brooklyn Nets. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. That's my 2 cents on KD and Twitter.
The other side of it was the fight with Kendrick Perkins.
That one was funny, though.
This is where I wanted to talk about because I want Kendrick Perkins to shut the fuck up.
He probably should.
And I am a Celtics fan.
But Kendrick Perkins is paid to tweet. He does work for ESPN.
Kendrick Perkins is the confirmation that I needed, that all you have to do to be a successful sports broadcaster is, 1, be a former athlete, and 2, say absurdly stupid shit.
Absolutely. You don't even have to be the former. As long as you'll be the latter, you can just be
look at Nick Wright. You're willing to get on a mic and blow your ass. Yeah. I think, like, when I look at Kendrick Perkins, and it's a long-running thing that I have with the 2008 Celtics, with Paul Pierce, everyone except for Kevin Garnett, because when KG says something, it's going to get blown up under the guise of you are an 08 Celtic. And I wish that
hold on, we have to clarify. Future best supporting actor, Kevin Garnett.
Maybe. I worry, like, KG shouldn't have said the LeBron stuff.
Sure.
He shouldn't have.
Absolutely not.
Do I disagree with him in the context of how he said it? Not necessarily, but he had to know. Saying that was going to be a soundbite, you shouldn't have said it.
I disagree with him in the context of which he said it.
For another time.
Sure.
But when I have to listen to Paul Pierce saying things like, we would have won 3, and when I have to listen to Kendrick Perkins saying things like, they needed him because he's the enforcer in Oklahoma City. Without him, dude, without you, Kevin Durant was 21 years old. Oh, it's a big problem that a 21-year-old never got out of the second round of the playoffs. Oh, man, what an issue that a 21-year-old kid couldn't get out of the second round of the playoffs. Big difference it made when 2.3 rebound Kendrick Perkins showed up and really put them over the top to get to the finals.
Say, like, the lack of self-awareness to think that you could actually knowingly say out loud, they needed me on a team that had 3 MVPs on it. Like, they needed you. Kendrick Perkins. They needed you.
Kendrick Perkins was
to
one
what,
of the...
fight Drake? Like, what do they need you for?
They didn't even play him.
No.
Like, they were like, oh, once we start playing the Heat, we won't really play you anymore because you're fucking useless.
Because they're not going to play Dexter Pittman.
Yeah. It's a continued issue I have with the 08 Celtics, where I understand why they're the most hated one-time champion team, because they won't shut the fuck up.
They milk the shit out of one championship, too.
I mean, the 04 Pistons do the same thing.
They do, but they went to 6 straight conference finals.
Yeah, that's kind of the difference, too, is like, yeah, they did go to 6 straight conference finals. They only won 1. I get tired a little bit when
I have 2 conference finals. They went to the finals twice.
Yeah, but I do get... So did the Celtics. Right. But I do get annoyed when I have to listen to Chauncey talking about, well, back in my day, you know, and like Chauncey starts talking like he invented guard defense.
No, but Larry Brown helped him a hell of a lot with it.
Yeah, but that's part of the, like, I have to listen to Chauncey talk about we were the first to, you know, really lock down with the guard play, and it's like we're best 5 alive and all that shit. I don't love how they milk that. I like even less how the Celtics milk theirs, because all they do is post cringy bar pictures about how the best big 3, the original big 3, and Kendrick Perkins talking about how Kevin Durant needed him, and Paul Pierce talking about how many they should have won and how he was the greatest player of an era. Shut the fuck up. It's ruining the accomplishment. Yeah.
I'm going to do the Detroit thing where if Chauncey didn't twist his ankle in the playoffs, the Celtics have no championships.
Well, but Boston thing to do is go, well, if KG's knee doesn't explode, we have 3.
Exactly. And you can do that for literally any championship. Like, pick a champion.
God, the Chiefs just got the ball back again on their own, on the Texans 5. This is art. Bill O'Brien is doing an art right now.
I said 47-28, right? I'm going to be off on the 28, but they could still, it could happen. So, but yeah, you can say it for any championship, right? Like if KD doesn't get hurt, or if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt with the Clippers, or the Rockets, or the whoever. Like you can do that with any championship. So the idea of like Chauncey twisting his ankle or KG's knee exploding or whatever it is, I just think that when you win a championship, you should just say, man, that was really great. And then you should give credit to everybody else who wins a championship and not say that yours was worth more than anybody else's, because you know how hard it is to win one. You won one. So many things have to go your way. So many things have to happen and fall into place that I never understand the criticism from former championships, or former champions, I should say, about other people's championships. Ours was better. No, dude, it's a championship. Things happen for everybody. They fall into place. Things work out well for you. You win the championship. Just give credit to everybody else who does that too. Don't say because we did this, LeBron did this, and his championships aren't worth as much as ours. Like, your championships are all worth the same. You're all champions. Just give the next guy credit for winning a championship. You know you're not going to win them all. I don't get it. I've never gotten that.
What else are we going to talk about NBA? I'm so mad about Bill O'Brien and his performance art. This is incredible. He's going to blow a 24-point lead in less than 10 minutes. This is unbelievable.
If anybody could do it.
He might be the worst coach in the NFL for this. This is atrocious. I know we had other NBA things to talk about. I know what I wanted to do. Last week you wanted to go off on Kevin Love, and I want to give you the floor.
I did not do that, did I?
Yeah, I want to give you the floor to do so because I happen to agree with what I know you're going to say.
Story now.
I know. It gets even more exciting.
It's a lot more fun.
Because we do have to discuss John Beilein.
Yes, we do. Okay, so Kevin Love last week decided in the middle of a game to act like a petulant child, and I don't necessarily blame him for his frustration. I understand why he has the frustration that so fully encompasses his everyday life right now. But there is no point when you sign a 4-year, $120 million contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers over those next 4 years that you should decide, you know what, I don't like the direction of our team. Because guess what? You knew what it was when you signed. That's the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sans LeBron James from 2003 to 2010 and then 2015 through 2018, that franchise is largely terrible. Throw in Mark Price and Steve Kerr once, okay, but other than that, they have never been good. And they are run by what can only be described as maybe the most incompetent championship owner of all time. I wouldn't even say maybe. He's the most incompetent championship owner of all time. He has been gifted championships because of one player. So you could say, yeah, Jerry Reinsdorf too, but still, the most incompetent ever. You can't expect them to do anything remotely resembling a competent franchise. He's never given a GM a contract extension until Kobe Altman, the one GM who didn't win him a title. Yeah. So what did you think was going to happen? Of course they're going to hire a college coach in the middle of the summer when they had all year to hire a guy they wanted. Of course they're going to fire a championship coach 6 games into the season. Of course they're going to draft a point guard with the 4th overall pick after they drafted a point guard the year before. Obviously these things are going to, and neither of them know how to pass. You can't go up to the front of the court, take the ball away from Colin Sexton as he's pounding it incessantly into the ground, and then throw it at Chetty Osman with 2 seconds left. Say, go ahead, do something. Like, that is just idiocy on the part of Kevin Love. And I understand the frustration, but you can't act like that when you're making $30 million because you know why you're making $30 million.
You signed the contract.
Only because they had to keep somebody from that championship team.
I'm starting to think Kyrie saw the writing on the wall and he was like, I just don't want to be the one.
You're starting to think that.
I don't want to be the one that gets left here all alone.
Exactly. He didn't want to be the one that got left there with Kevin Love.
Like, I'm really starting to think it had much less to do with I don't want to play with LeBron and had much more to do with I know how this motherfucker's going to leave us and I don't want to be a part of that.
I'm getting out while the getting's good.
Yeah.
Like, Kevin Love, I know you wouldn't have gotten $120 million from somewhere else. I understand. And I know you think, and I am always the dude that says secure the bag and worry about it later. Like, whether you're Tobias Harris, Kevin Love, whatever, sign the contract, get your money, worry about it later. But you had to know, man, is an extra $10 million a year going to make me happy? Or is going to play in Portland on a 4 for $80 going to make me happy?
And that's like the other thing too is he had an opportunity to get traded and he's thrown it out the window.
Absolutely.
No one in their right mind is going to go, why would I give up assets for a 30-year-old making $30 million
for the next 3 years?
Actively pouting. What's going to be like if you take him
even
from
if LeBron actively pouts, guys actively pout. You can't be the skill level and talent level of a 30-year-old Kevin Love and do it.
I mean, oh my God. What is going on here?
I don't know. I wasn't looking. Is that a touchdown?
I don't think so, but good.
Clock's
like,
still running.
Holy shit, okay. This team is blowing their diaper.
This is great live radio we're doing.
This is an absolute... I mean, this is going to be an iconic blown lead. I haven't seen a team blow their diaper like this. No, it's not. No. Yeah, wonderful job we're doing just giving a live play into the mic. We should just do play-by-play and color commentary.
Watson, fake handoff. He'll keep it left outside. Swings, got the first down, picked up, hit down at the 44-yard line. It's hard to do play-by-play off TV.
It is a little difficult when they won't zoom out more. Yeah. The other thing with like the Kevin Love deal, if you're a bad team, and you're like, if you're the Hawks and you're looking for a big, and you're like, we're between Andre Drummond, who are going to have to pay $30 million, or Kevin Love, who we're going to have to pay $30 million. You're going, I want Andre Drummond, and we'll pay for him right now.
For one more year, too. Like, you got Kevin Love
Right.
at $30 million for the next 3 years.
Because
Andre comes off your books.
the other side of it is he's on a bad team right now and he's upset. You're a bad team. There's zero guarantee he's going to come to you and be happy.
I don't know how he could. The thing is also, like, Kevin Love makes $30 million. Carmelo Anthony makes, like, 1.79 or something like that for the rest of the year, like a prorated whatever salary was.
Right.
That is just, I mean, Melo's been better than Kevin Love this year.
Considerably.
And there are other guys too who make way, way less who have been better. Like, I'm always, again, sign the contract, worry about it later, but you knew you were stuck there when you signed it.
Oh, yeah, and he knew exactly what he was getting into, and that's where I get that you're upset. I get that you're frustrated, and I understand why. Like, the team stinks. It's run
Yeah, I mean,
horribly.
I don't want to get called a slug either. I would be pissed.
Okay, so let's address that quickly while we're on the Kevin Love topic, because I do have a destination that I think he might enjoy.
Is it Orlando?
No.
Okay.
Does anyone honestly believe John Beilein meant to say slug?
I will say this. I don't think he meant to say slug, but I don't think that he meant thug with a really heavily racial connotation or anything like that.
No, I think he's a good character guy.
Like,
I'm not
I
implying
don't
that
think
he's
that John
racist.
Beilein is saying that from a place of hatred. But I
that's-
do think he said thug.
I don't think the outrage has been there with this story where anyone really believes he was coming from a place of hatred.
And I'm going to echo Shaq and Charles Barkley's comments to say, if their record is flipped, this story doesn't come out. Like, this doesn't get out of the locker room. This got out of the locker room because they want him fired.
Yeah, these are players who want their coach
Yes.
fired because they are bad NBA players who are making NBA money and don't want to be treated like college kids anymore.
Coaches talk in film sessions all day long. How many times you think a slip of the tongue or something stupid got said
Yeah.
that has never gotten out of a locker room
And that's why-
is addressed right then and there? This got out because they don't want him to be
That's why you know Shaq and Chuck, Shaq and Chuck have been in a film room where some coach said something dumb and they were like, hey,
Phil Jackson, the posse man himself,
Right.
coached Shaquille O'Neal for a while. You
Right.
think nothing
Hey.
ever got said?
Shaq, you got your mind on you and your posse right
Yeah,
here. And,
like-
and Shaq's like, the fuck you just say to me? That's how that goes.
How many times do you think Phil Jackson referenced Shaq's movie and rap career? I guarantee you it happened.
That's how that has to, like, John Beilein in a film session says, it's good. See, here you guys were playing like thugs. Tristan Thompson goes, the fuck did you just say? And that's how that goes. You don't say that to us. We are grown-ass
But even
men.
then,
Don't talk like
they
that
said,
to us.
No one
That's it.
said anything right away.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm like,
That's kind of my point.
what? So it wasn't a big deal to them.
Nobody's sitting there saying anything. Either means it wasn't a big deal or it was, but they knew they could use this later to get him fired.
I don't even
And
think it was. I think it wasn't, and then they thought, oh, we can use this if we say it.
Right.
And
that's-
he will, like, assistants will back us up because he really did say it, even if he didn't mean it. Even if they glossed over it right away, they'll be like, oh, shit, he said that. I can tell Joe Varden that, and he'll get fired.
That's the kind of gross part to me because the fact is this. John Beilein is not going to be the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers for very long.
If they don't...
He might not make it past the trade deadline.
Oh, no, he'll make it the year. I think he makes it the year. I think he makes it the year, and I think he has a real long talk with himself about if he'd rather be coaching in college somewhere. And I think this is like a mutual, I'm going to resign, the NBA isn't for me type of thing to save some face.
That could be.
Because, and I think he'll turn and just be like, you know what, JB Bickerstaff, go ahead. See if you can get him to listen to you.
Yeah, that could be.
Because firing a dude who you hired in mid-June, or even late June, didn't they hire him after the draft? Or no.
It was,
like, whatever it
wasn't-
was.
Yeah.
You can't fire him right now. You just got to save a little face. And technically, they're going to win more games than they won last year. So he's not doing a terrible job. He's just not doing the job those players want. So
fact-
it's either trade out. You can't fire the players, right? That's the old expression. So you got to fire him.
He had them making rotations. He had them playing tight defense. Early in the year, I was like, wow, this is really working.
They weren't playing like slugs anymore.
And then it's kind of gotten to the point where he's making them work hard, and they don't like that he's making him work hard, and they make more money than he does.
Yeah, that's
And
always the tough one.
Their job security is more tight than his, and they just don't like the guy. So I do feel bad for John Beilein. I had a feeling it wasn't going to work because I wasn't sure the college teacher style was going to transfer over into an NBA where players don't want to be taught anymore.
I thought maybe the holdovers from the championship team would have some problems with him, like the Tristan Thompsons and the Kevin Loves,
They
and even
clearly
the guys
do.
who played in the finals, like Larry Nance or Jordan Clarkson, just because, like, Ty Lue had a very different style, right? He didn't make them have 3-hour film sessions or long, grueling practices, and they were in the finals. Now you have a guy coming in from college, and you guys stink, but you have 3-hour film sessions and long practice. Well, we were in the finals. We didn't have these. Yeah, well, you had LeBron James. So like, I understood like guys like Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson who might let that cloud their vision a little bit and think, well, we didn't do this when we were in the finals. Yeah, but you didn't make it to the finals. LeBron dragged your ass.
Right.
Like
but players don't want to hear that. Players don't believe that.
Kevin Love does not believe that LeBron dragged him to anything. Kevin Love
Kendrick Perkins telling Kevin Durant that they needed him.
There's also a member of that Cleveland team, Kendrick Perkins.
It's like players do not believe that they weren't a part of whatever happened. This is like Kyrie believes wholeheartedly that they only won a championship because he made the shot.
Kendrick Perkins wholly believes that him threatening to fight Drake propelled the Cavs to sweep the Raptors that year. Like he thinks the reason that we swept the Raptors is because I went and almost fought Drake in a suit that LeBron bought for me.
It's about as tough as it gets. That's the athlete mentality, though. That's like people say NBA players are divas, and as much as I hate it because I think, again, racial connotations exist in the way that it's addressed strictly at NBA players and NFL wide receivers.
Yeah, but
there's a commonality in those
Kevin
two
Love,
groups.
though, he's a diva.
Yeah,
like, Kevin Love's absolutely a diva.
They are. I mean, to an extent,
sure.
like the voices that say those things, I don't like because I know where it comes from. But this is the difference between like coaching in the NFL, where you preside over the scheme and you're putting players in the right spots and you do really matter. Sure. And coaching in the NBA where, yeah, it's the same thing, but if the players don't respect you, you're gone.
Yeah.
Like they make too much money for them to give a shit about you.
Also, their star power is too big. Like the NFL, there's 1 or 2 guys in the locker room that have 1 million followers on Instagram.
And in the NBA,
they all do.
Helmets.
Their star power is massive in the NBA.
You're producing movies if you're an NBA movie star. Or an NBA star.
Right. I mean, it's just what it is. You can never fire the players.
Yeah.
Like, fans don't pay money to come see the coach.
So back to Kevin Love trade destinations. What about the Minnesota Timberwolves?
They stink. Like, I'll just say, I think.
But at least he'd like the restaurant.
Yeah, you're right. But, like, just for Wiggins? Like, just swap it back?
Why not?
Your junk for our junk. Like, I guess there have been those type of trades in the NBA before where, hey, let's just swap junk. And I mean that in no sexual way possible. But it's just like a shitty shuffling of the cards. Though.
Speaking of swapping junk, another aside, but this is something I would feel remiss if we didn't address. Mike Vrabel's going to have to cut his dick off if they win the Super Bowl.
He said he would. I think that means you have to do it before if victory is guaranteed.
So is it already off?
I don't know. Like,
what's going on with Mike Vrabel's
I'm going to need some inside information. Mrs. Vrabel, could you please contact the show? We're going to need to know the status of your husband's genitalia very soon.
Twitter at Norling Shea. Mrs. Vrabel, if you're listening.
I'm going to need to know. Let's send that aside right there. So Kevin Love getting traded to Minnesota. Here's the thing. Like, I just heard this on a podcast with Zach Lowe earlier today talking about Minnesota's point differential with Cat on the floor and off the floor. They score 114 points per 100 possessions with him on the floor. With him off the floor, they're 98, which is essentially a G League team. With him on the floor for defense, they give up 115 per 100. So they're actually a minus with Cat on the floor. He hasn't been playing much lately because he's hurt. With Cat off the floor, they're 97. They're one of the best defenses in the NBA. I don't think adding Kevin Love to that mix to pair next to Cat or next to Gorgie Jang will help those things. So I think Gerson Rosas, being the analytically minded GM that he is, would not pull the trigger on a Kevin Love deal. But it is interesting to say, hey, you're junk for our junk. Let's see if it works. I just don't really think I really don't think there's a trade destination for Kevin Love. I think he's going to be in Cleveland all year. It's like Chris Paul. Like, somebody might come Chris Paul because he's actually pretty good.
Yeah, Chris Paul's more likely. The problem is the teams that want him, except for Philly, can't match the salary.
Exactly. Like, and there's other options, right? It's the same thing with Kevin Love. It's like, oh, we can't get Chris Paul. Well, we might be able to get CJ McCollum.
I have a question because I think I'm noticing how the trades haven't happened. A lot of it is because we're now, like, especially this year, seeing how difficult it is to match salaries.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's really hard in a year where everybody is signed. Cap space isn't a big thing this summer. There aren't a ton of active free agents this summer.
And the boom of 2016 has already worn off.
Right. And then there will be another boom in 2021.
Well, there's that underlying China.
Barring any changes with China. There should be another boom in 2021.
There's a projected boom.
even if there's not a salary boom, we will see more trades because teams won't have so much difficulty matching salary.
Exactly.
But I am starting to wonder if in the next CBA we're going to see something along the lines of as long as you can absorb incoming salary, you can make the trade.
Right. That should already be the case.
It's a little ridiculous that if you have the ability to absorb a max contract,
Right.
you have to match the incoming salary.
The Knicks should be able to trade for Andre Drummond with like whoever they want to give us.
Kevin Knox.
Just take Andre Drummond.
Kevin Knox.
I'll take anything. Give me Kevin Knox and one of the shitty Dallas picks. Give me Frank Ntilikina and one of the shitty Dallas picks. Give me Ignas Brazdeikis and one of the shitty Dallas picks. Just take Andre Drummond.
But it is like, and it's frustrating because there are so many trades I want to see that I'm like, I need to get a third team involved, and then even that becomes difficult.
It's so tough.
It's like I think that as much as we were hyped up for an incredible trade window, we aren't going to see a ton of action, except maybe like if Russell Westbrook gets traded, I feel like that is the the Texans are going to go into halftime trailing.
Again, but the Chiefs are going to be winning this game at halftime.
The Texans are up 24-0 in the first quarter. They're going to trail at halftime.
That's coaching. There's nothing other. You cannot blow a 24-0 lead in less than a quarter unless your coach is a moron.
I will go to my grave believing that faking a punt up 17 points on your own 30 and not getting it is why you lose this game. You cannot do CPR to your dead opponent.
This is just like there is no other way to explain it other than a coach shitting the bed when you're up 24-0 in a half in a second quarter and they can come back and have the lead.
Forget the NBA. The rest of the show, there's not much time left. I want to talk about what I'm watching on my television right now because I saw a great tweet. Only Bill O'Brien could turn 24-0 first half lead on the road against the number 2 seed into a career-ending event.
I mean, he is going to get fired if they lose this game, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's gone. He might get fired at halftime.
The problem is they don't have a GM. Who's firing him? Their owner died, and they don't have a GM. I'm serious. I that was a little insensitive, but Bob McNair's an asshole. He's the guy.
Fuck Bobby Nair. I'm not worried about that. I'm just laughing because they're in a horrifying situation.
Seriously, they don't have their owner is literally dead, and they don't have a GM. I don't know who's firing him. And at this point, who are you hiring? Because the Browns just took Kevin Stefanski, son of the great Ed Stefanski, which I found out today. Thank you, Woj. I did not know that was a thing. The Pistons GM's son is now the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. So that's a fun marriage. But, oh, what a play. Oh, he dropped it. Mahomes made a hell of a play, and I don't know who number 11 is, but that's the second time he's screwed up today. Either way, great live radio. But quick, I know we're staying on football. Quick Russell Westbrook thing. Lowest effective field goal percentage since his second year in the league. Just want to say that. He's fucking terrible. The only good thing he does is transition offense for them. Like, he is going to kill them in the playoffs. They are going to lose in the first round to a team that is probably not as good as them because Russell Westbrook kills playoff series. Remember that he got swept by the Blazers with Paul George as a running mate last year. They're going to lose in the playoffs early if they don't trade Russell Westbrook. And he's not going to make the All-Star team. I don't care about cachet. He does not deserve to be on the All-Star team.
And the Chiefs have the lead.
Nah, he went past the line of scrimmage. I think that's coming back. Are you going to get him for it? Oh, actually, it's like any part of your body is behind, right? I thought he was for sure past it. Either way, Russell Westbrook stinks. That's all I wanted to say. And if he makes the All-Star team over Devin Booker, I quit. I absolutely quit because Devin Booker has been phenomenal. I know the Suns are out of the playoffs right now. It's not Devin Booker's fault, and he has been phenomenal, and he was... Oh, that left foot. Did you see it drag? Did he just keep it behind the line?
Yep.
Oh, it's so... I don't know, Jim.
They can't put a flag on it.
We're listening to it on mute, but I guarantee you Tony Romo just said, I don't know, Jim.
Oh, his right foot was way across.
Yeah, I don't think he got it.
But can they throw a flag on replay? They can review the touchdown.
I think it's just a loss it down spot foul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when they throw a flag, it's just fourth down.
But can you penalize on replay? Like, they called it a touchdown on the field. All right, we're going to find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
The good news here is, and this is something I don't want to have lost here, like you said, Kevin Stefanski got hired by the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
So Josh McDaniels was going to stay in New England. Lucky for Josh McDaniels, the Texans need a head coach.
Yeah.
A job just opened up.
There you go.
A wild opening has appeared.
Who would be Josh McDaniels' OC? I really am excited to see Deshaun Watson with a different coach. I really am. I think that'll be actually good. Like, that'll be... Romeo Crennel still down there?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's already got a defensive staff in place. The Texans have a good defense. He doesn't have to change that much. I'm firing Bill O'Brien at halftime. Like, I am. They don't have a GM, so somebody's got to do it. I'll do it.
He should not be allowed to coach the second half.
I mean, this is like they might still get away with it because I think he was past the line of scrimmage, but that's just an absolute utter collapse. Oh my God, are we getting the baby race at the next game at halftime? Oh my God, this is what I love about League Pass. No commercials. Give me the in-arena entertainment because it is electric at some of these arenas.
Oh, Charlotte did a baby race when I went to the
Some of
game.
these arenas do such a great job with give so much credit to the arena staff at some of these arenas. They do phenomenal with their in-arena entertainment. The NBA is the best show in the world when it comes to in between the action. We have a literal baby race on the floor at the Garden right now, and folks, I'm excited. This baby is crying his eyes out as his father carries him through a tunnel of Knicks dancers. The horror this child must be feeling.
Yeah, I can't imagine being the baby that has to race. That's got to be terrifying.
It seems like a little unethical, but I'm here for it because it is just so awesome.
Do we have any other NBA? Did I drop my NCAA
Oh,
basketball
the 2 seed.
stat?
I want to talk about the 2 seed. I'll do it. How much time?
Oh,
we got?
yeah, go for it. We only
Okay.
have 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay,
but go
I'll
for
be
it.
quick. So here's the thing in the NBA and how important the 2 seed is in the Eastern Conference. I know you're thinking, why the 2 seed? Wouldn't you want the 1? Yes, the 1 is equally important, but
You're not getting it.
I'm defaulting it to Milwaukee for purpose of this argument. As of right now, I believe, Miami's 6.5 back of it, Boston 7. It's going to be Milwaukee's.
Right.
Here's the issue with the rest of the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Miami's 6.5 games behind Milwaukee for the 1. The Pacers are 10 games behind Milwaukee for the 1. That's the 6 seed. So separating 2 through 6 is 3.5 games. 3.5 games separate 2 through 6. Miami, Boston, Toronto, Philly, and Indiana, 2 through 6. The drop-off between 6 and 7 is 6 games. It is the difference between 24 and 15 and 18 and 21.
So there you go. The difference...
And by the way, that 24 and 15 team is getting an all-star back. They have not had him all year. They're getting him back. That's Victor Oladipo. So your difference between playing an Indiana or Philly team, because they're only a half a game up right now, versus playing the Magic. That 2 seed is the most important playoff seed in all of the playoffs, is the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. Because if Philly gets the 4 or the 3, yikes.
Yeah, if they...
Philly has to match up with Indiana, the only other super big team.
I got to tell you, I don't see Philly getting the 2 or getting the 2. I don't.
They have to at least have the 3 because they can't play Toronto without home court. Right now, they're going to Toronto in the first round.
Barring a trade or Ben Simmons suddenly deciding that he enjoys shooting threes, I don't see them getting the 2.
That it is so hugely important for any team to have that. You don't want that 6 seed because any of those teams could end up the 6 just by the straw hat. I mean, Toronto is a literal game and a half away from being the 6, even though they're 26 or 25 and 13.
Right.
Like you could be playing Toronto if you're the 3.
The thing that's awesome about this year, I think, and it's why I'm having so much fun with this season, despite the Warriors not existing, the top of the Eastern Conference
Parity at the
is
top's been awesome.
really good.
Really, really great.
Really good.
Like I just mentioned 5 teams, 2 through 6, separated by 3.5 games. That's outstanding. And the West has just sort of been mundane as hell after you I don't know, the bottom of Memphis is in a playoff spot right now at 17 and 22 in the West. So the West has not been what people thought it was. It's been the East, and more specifically the top 6 in the East. And that man, I guess they upheld the touchdown, huh?
Yep.
But yeah, I mean you're looking at Toronto has a 3-game slip, and they've been doing this without Siakam. They've stayed at the same spot. If they get Siakam back, who has been literally a fringe MVP candidate, they'll probably go up higher than 4.
Sure.
But Miami's got to hold on. Miami could fall to the 6 that quickly. There's a lot of things that could happen, and I mean, still Miami right now 17-1 at home. Yes, they're outstanding. They are very average on the road, literally 10-10, and the Knicks are giving them all they're worth right now. So you could end up seeing Miami. You don't want that. You have to get the 2 seed if you're one of those teams. My money, the only team that I think could handle the 3 is Boston, just because they whooped the shit out of Indiana last year. They're set up
Sans
to beat
Oladipo,
Indiana.
but sure.
Right. But even Oladipo's not going to tip the scales of a 5-game series. They waxed Indiana, or was it? No, they swept them.
They swept them.
They swept them.
One thing I'm turning really warm to is the idea of sending Gordon Hayward to the Pacers and getting back You send Gordon Hayward, Romeo Langford, and a pick, and you get back Miles Turner and Jeremy Lamb.
It's a good deal. Like, what you're saying is a good deal. The word optics is such a big part of NBA trades now.
I don't think it plays anymore, though. I think that's super overrated.
I think you might be a little too in close to Boston for that.
No, they traded Isaiah Thomas off a busted hip and got Kemba Walker the second free agency started.
You're right. But they didn't have a chance at Anthony Davis because of it. And there's a couple other guys
Yeah,
they
but
haven't had a chance
is
at.
it true that they really didn't have a chance, or was that just Anthony Davis scheming to get the exact scenario that he wanted?
I think both of those are true.
If Kyrie stays in Boston, does Anthony Davis scheme so hard to not be there?
I don't think Anthony Davis likes Kyrie very much.
But does he think it's more of a winning culture?
I see your point there. I definitely see your point there.
I just think, like, AD and even more than AD, Rich Paul wanted AD in LA very, very badly.
For sure. New York or LA? Remember, the Knicks were actually...
For sure.
That's so wild.
But that is something that I think about when people say you're going to murder your ability to sign free agents if you train Gordon Hayward.
I wouldn't necessarily say it murders your ability to sign free agents. I think it murders your ability to sign the absolute top-tier free agent, which is what Boston would be chasing. They're the type of franchise that goes after those guys, no?
Yeah, they go after max money players, but they traded away Isaiah instead of giving him a max. He missed out on a ton of money, and they still got Kemba as soon as free agency opened.
I think it's not even so much of it. It's the injury part. Like, that's really the big thing about it.
But same thing with IT.
I know, but that's what I'm saying for IT. The reason that everybody is so mad that they traded IT was not like, he's your guy, he did that for you, and you traded him for someone better. Like, that's a no-brainer. Look at what happened with Toronto. Like,
and that'll come back with Hayward if you send Hayward, because he's hurt. But the difference, I think, with Hayward is he's come back, he's now a known quantity, and he's good. You're not giving Indiana a bad player. You're giving him a hometown hero.
Sure. I
think it solves both teams' problems. The Celtics need a big. The Pacers need one less big.
Indiana's not going to pay Gordon Hayward if he opts out. That's the thing, though, too, because they got to pay Oladipo. If they don't pay Oladipo, they become the new Boston, because everybody already thinks Indiana's cheap. Everybody thinks Herb Simon is the cheapest dude in the league for a reason.
But what if Herb Simon just goes, all right, I get to have my MAGA white hometown hero, and I get to have Victor Oladipo, and they're both on max contracts. I'll pay a little bit, but we'll be really competitive and make a lot of
Forgetting one thing, Herb Simon doesn't give a shit about the city of Indianapolis.
Oh, that's true.
His money is he's a real estate guy from New York. Him seeing whatever a hometown Indianapolis, he doesn't care about winning in Indianapolis. He cares about turning a profit, and he'll milk that Midwestern town for all it's worth. And his son will do the same thing after he's done. I don't like the Simon family. As you can tell from the tone of my voice, I don't think they should be allowed to own an NBA team because of the way they operate it. If you have all-star franchise players and you refuse to give them the Supermax because you don't want to, you should not be allowed to have your team. Like, Paul George deserved that damn money. That should have been Paul George's money.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Westbrook got it, and Harden got it, and Steph and Wall and Dame and all these guys deserved it and got it. Paul George should have got that money. I'm going to get a little heated talking about the Simons. But I just don't think if you bring in Gordon Hayward on a trade, you can pay him and Oladipo, and you just paid Sabonis, and you just paid Brogdon. I understand you're moving Turner out so you get a little bit of money, but they wouldn't pay Bogdanovich. They clearly should have. They didn't. I just don't think they're going to pay Gordon Hayward a max contract that he will undoubtedly get somewhere else. Sacramento or whoever would give Gordon Hayward a max for sure.
I'm warm to it because you look at what Philly did, putting $600 million into one position, and I worry about if the Celtics decide to put $500 million into three wing players. I don't know.
You can never have too many wings, though, right?
Yeah, I think
you can have too many big guys.
I think you can have too many max wings.
The Clippers would disagree with you.
But it's only two.
How many do the Celtics have if they get rid of Hayward?
They'll have Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Gordon Hayward all.
But I'm saying if one of those goes, then you have two.
Yeah, but my fear is
younger.
My fear is that one of them doesn't. And that's where, like, if you have maxed Gordon Hayward, maxed Jason Tatum, who's getting $180 million.
What did he have, 40 the other night? That was a hell of a game. I didn't watch. I saw the stat line, though.
And near maxed Jaylen Brown for the next 4 years.
And maxed Kemba.
And maxed Kemba. You don't have any money to get a big.
You probably don't have Marcus Smart anymore.
Right. That's where you start to go.
So vital. Like, but to the people that don't, like, so vital to everything they do.
He kind of makes the team go. People
not everybody looks at advanced stats, but when he comes off the floor,
even even on bad offensive nights, which have been far more frequent lately for him, he's still vitally important.
Basketball
to the team.
fans who don't know what net rating is, familiarize yourself with it, and you'll know about Marcus Smart very quickly.
Oh, yeah. RPM, any of the RPM is kind of bogus now, but any of those advanced metrics that ESPN will sell you on.
I feel very confident, and I'm not near as close to it as you, but I feel very confident thinking Danny Ainge would much rather lose Gordon Hayward than Marcus Smart.
Oh, I absolutely agree, especially with how well Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have come
and
along.
I would say it's close with Jaylen Brown. Like, I'd probably rather lose Smart than Jaylen Brown, but I think it's close.
Yeah, no, now you'd probably rather lose Smart because Jalen's coming on as a defender too.
If you'd asked me this last year, I'd say I'd definitely rather lose Jaylen Brown. But
absolutely.
Jaylen Brown's had an all-star year.
Man, he's higher in votes than Ben Simmons on a voting toll that has Trae Young at 1 and Kyrie Irving at 2.
Okay. So the fan vote for starters gets skewed a little. Everybody thinks that
it's
Alex
only
Caruso
worth 50%.
is not going to be
it's only worth 50%.
I don't
the
even
coaches,
think it's 50 anymore.
It might be 25.
Yeah, like,
but the coaches and the writers are going to come in and fix the egregious errors. Taco Fall is not going to be on the All-Star team.
Like, Devin Booker has less votes than Alex Caruso. Yeah, well, which one has a better chance? Like, Zaza Pachulia almost made it that one time because of it. The only one where I think it could happen where the fan vote for a guy who probably doesn't deserve to be there but might push him there is D Rose. It's the only one where I think, like, yeah, it's in Chicago. The Bulls probably won't have an all-star.
The thing that's going to help D Rose a lot too is players love him.
Exactly. Also, it's a hell of a story if D Rose. I know 6 men don't make the all-star team. I get it. Lamar Odom deserved it that one year. He didn't get it. Lou Will deserved it that one year. It was in L.A. and none of the Lakers or Clippers made it, and he didn't get it. I get it. I understand 6 men don't make it. This is a hell of a story. If the All-Star game in Chicago, D Rose is a 22-year-old MVP from that city playing for that team. Zach LaVine is not going to make the All-Star team. It would be nice, even if it's just an injury replacement, to have D Rose there. He's going to do the skills competition just for that. Yeah, like, it'd be nice.
The one thing I know for sure, because I think guards right now, first is Trae, second is Kyrie, third is Kemba. So Kemba's going to be the Eastern Conference starting point guard in the All-Star game.
Yeah, they just do the guards now. Yeah, I mean, Kyrie Irving hasn't played enough games, and I really do believe he's coming back and playing now just because he does not want to get left off the All-Star team in general, which I believe he deserves to be left off the All-Star team this year, just like Russell Westbrook.
Oh, I agree.
But he won't be now.
The interesting one is going to be in the front court if Siakam gets in over Tatum, because Siakam's been hurt for so long now.
You mean gets in as a starter or gets in period?
Gets in as a starter.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, he's getting in.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it.
I think him and Tatum probably both sneak in.
Oh, Siakam, to me, should start, because far and away when he was on the court, he was, aside from Giannis, the best front court player in the Eastern Conference.
I agree.
And he's doing it now. Everybody will say, oh, the leap was real last year. This year it's just an incremental leap. Like, no, it's so much bigger when you're the focus of the other team's defense. Like, he's taken a leap while he's taken on more from the other team every night.
It was a leap when he had Kawhi next to him. Now he doesn't have Kawhi next to him, and he's still getting better.
Took another leap.
That's another leap. Yeah. That's not incremental improvement. Yeah. That's all the time we got for this week. So next week, hopefully less live radio, but what we just witnessed in the first half, I'm glad we were on a mic for it, because Bill O'Brien,
get out.
If I were a Texans fan, I'd want him dead.
If I were someone on the Texans, I would want him dead. If I were playing for the Texans right now, I'd be like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what did you just do? But yeah, either way.
Go Chiefs, I think.
Go Chiefs.
It's just Bill O'Brien deserves to be fired, so go Chiefs.
Later.
See you next week.
Later.